MetaDex03. Any idea what that is? Because if you're into Aerodrome or Velodrome, or you're just a big fan of, I guess, base, something that you should probably know. Going to be the new engine that's really going to drive the operating system behind the new Aero that's coming out. And in this video, I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to go over what MetaDex03 is. I want to let you guys know what is actually being new or improved, when it's expected to launch, why it matters for Aero users, price action, all that fun shit that we seem to care about. So this is not about hype. This is about infrastructure, which will probably turn into hype. And infrastructure is what decides who survives long-term in DeFi. So even if you're looking at Aerodrome or Velodrome, because they're two in the same now, for short-term, or if you're looking at it for long-term, this is something that I really think you should keep an eye on. So with that being said, guys, like and subscribe if you get something from this video, please. It does help me out. Regardless, I appreciate you guys being here. And let's talk about this new MetaDex engine. Aerodrome on Base and Velodrome on Optimism, they are merging, if you didn't hear, into a single unified DEX called Aero. So we're keeping the Aero name. And MetaDex03, I'm going to start calling it MetaDex, right? This is the technology layer that powers the new platform. So great, it's new, it's cool. What does it do? It reduces value leakage. That's a big deal. Keep more money on the table. It's going to help capture more fees inside the protocol, so it keeps more money back in your pocket if you're playing around with the DeFi. It helps to enable that cross-chain trading from one interface to another, a little bit of interoperability. It's helping that. The fact that now Aero has connected to Solana, MetaDex is going to help make that easier, cheaper, and faster. So Aero can have all of Solana for both us, the consumer, and the programmable side. And MetaDex is also going to really help scale the liquidity across Base, Optimism, Ethereum, and beyond, because we need to be able to scale. We need to be able to transfer everything cheaply, quickly, without anything going missing or having dropped transactions. Right. So this is a fundamental redesign of how this new Aerodrome DEX is going to work. And by the way, if you have anything that's locked into the Aerodrome DeFi and you're worried about what's going to happen when the transition occurs and Velodrome gets tied into it, they've got that all protected. I'm very likely going to have a little bit of cash in there on Aerodrome at that time. I'm actually looking at putting some back in the liquidity pool. It did me really well previously. Granted, the market was better back then when I put Aerodrome in, but I'm looking at doing it. I just don't know yet if I'm doing it the safe way, tied with USDC, or if I'm going to go a little bit riskier and tie it with really anything else. But I'm looking at a couple options, including Moonwell. So this MetaDex launch is expected to happen Q2 of 2026. So now this year, right? There's no exact date yet, and we'll get a more exact date closer to time, probably. They don't always actually tell us at a time. They'll say, hey, it's coming, and then boom, it's here. Base has had more of the reputation recently to saying, hey, tomorrow we're going to say something. But regardless, we don't have an exact date. I would not expect to hear an exact date until real close to time. But this also means this is not a short-term catalyst for tomorrow, and it is something the market will speculate on well before the launch. All right, this means MetaDex is going to become a narrative driver long before it actually live. So we're going to hear a lot more about MetaDex coming out. And I do think that that's going to be a price jumper. I really do. I don't think it's going to be straight up green candle. I think it's going to be a gradual glide, and then it's going to be released, and everyone's going to expect the price to go up at that point, and it probably won't. Price was already checked in from probably about now until the launch. So it'll probably be more of a buy the rumor, sell the news event, but I do expect that it's going to be a price mover as long as Base advertises it, and Aerodrome and Base are quite active on socials. But what is actually new or improved versus cheaper and faster, which that might be all that you care about. But let's go a little bit more detail. Right, so Slipstream version 3 or V3, I just assume it means version. It reduces the value leakage. Again, this is one of the biggest problems in DeFi is value leakage, right? Most DEXs will lose a lot of value due to arbitrage bots, MEV searchers, and then just external actors extracting profit from trades. Slipstream version 3 is designed to just internalize that value. Okay, great. What does that mean? It means more of that profit's going to stay inside the protocol. Aerodrome is going to have to lose less money by doing the same stuff that they're doing right now. That's good news for them. More money that stays in TVL is also good news for us. It makes the coin look better, so we buy more, other people buy it more. It keeps it more stable, which in turn causes people to have more trust in putting liquidity into the DEX. Liquidity pools specifically potentially can earn more. That's where I'm looking for, wanting to put some in now when prices are pretty low to jump on that as prices raise going into Q2. At least that's my thought. No financial advice, just my play right now. And then protocol revenue all improves. So this matters because protocols that capture their own value survive longer. This is why I like the buyback systems. And I like that Aerodrome has been talking about it more. A couple times a week, I think, at least once a week, I see Aerodrome themselves post about how many buybacks, 750,000 buybacks this week. Awesome. They're keeping the money internalized and they're talking about it. And this is only going to help out as more good news about MetaDex comes out, because I'm going to speculate and bet pretty decently that when they start pushing MetaDex again, they're going to say, here, we got the new upgrade coming out and look how much it's been growing. We have rebought back 8 million Aero in this time. They just have a lot of factors, and it's going to be a good little buildup over time. They're doing the right things. Another upgrade they're having is what they're calling them meta swaps, right? This is the cross-chain trades from single interface, meaning there's no more individual or manual bridging. There's no more switching networks. There's no using multiple apps. And this is where Aerodrome is trying to connect with as many other ecosystems. So you get rid of that shit, keep the fees down, have faster transactions, have more crypto on the decentralized exchange for use of buying, selling, trading, and liquidity. All right. This makes it so liquidity is no longer fragmented, and it makes Aerodrome even easier to use, let alone now Aero is on the base mini app, right? It's easy to use and easy to find. And though I really do think Aerodrome is a very solid DEX and solid program, it's also very easy, and ease usually wins. It's convenience, right? Why do you think fast food is so freaking popular? It sure as hell isn't because it tastes good. And if you think it doesn't, I'm ready to argue with on it. It's because it's convenient, right? And convenience and ease will win. And Aerodrome happens to be convenient. It's getting easier. It's actually a good product. And this is all great stuff for its continued success. So in all reality, MetaDex is just helping making the back end of Aerodrome stronger. And that's the part that a lot of people underestimate because it's the boring stuff, right? Who cares about this upgrade? Z2X3A, it means nothing. MetaDex, at least a cool name. But I mean, people don't know about this stuff because they don't care about it, because a lot of people don't realize how good it is. Whether it's lucky timing or the fact that you realize that Aerodrome is getting massively overhauled conveniently at the same time base is getting massively overhauled. There's a lot of good things and good timing right now. And I will briefly expand upon that it's not just Aerodrome. There are a lot of good projects on Coinbase, and I'll probably talk a little bit more about them over time. If I do a liquidity pool with Aero and Moonmel, which is an option for me, I might go to Safe USDC. I got to look. I'll start talking about that a little bit too. So if there's any base tokens you guys like, let me know in the comments below, and I might talk about them. So to answer a couple of questions and clarify a few things, because I think I've hit some of this already, but to know, like, does this upgrade actually matter, or is it going to work? And part of me wants to shout, of course it will, but it should. It really based off of execution and timing. And what do you mean, is it going to work? Right? I mean, MetaDex, as long as there's no bugs in the system, which it doesn't appear to be, or they're going to figure it out in the next couple months before Q2, it should work quite well. It is an ambitious tech, like the job that Aerodrome and Base is trying to do of essentially DEX interoperability. I don't know why they're not using those words more often, by the way, because maybe I'm biased because I'm big into quant, and the interoperability term catches my ear really quick. I wish he'd start saying that a little bit more. They're helping to connect several ecosystems all into one DeFi, so we don't have to worry about wrap tokens or trading from different wallets, moving from this wallet to this exchange to that wallet, changing this crypto to USDC to buy this crypto. They're becoming the immediate middleman, which is great, especially if you're looking into it long term. So MetaDex03, it's going to be some hype, but the big point is that's new infrastructure. And solid infrastructure is good. It doesn't matter if retail knows about it. It matters, do developers know about it? Because for the most part, retail doesn't give a rat's ass about tech. We'll brag about the technology, but there's only a handful of people that actually care about that. Developers care about technology, and we care about what developers hop onto that technology. So if we got all nerdy into MetaDex and more things that it does, essentially nobody's going to care. But knowing that MetaDex is now overhauling Aerodrome, and this is why Solana can get tied into it. Maybe it's going to tie in other layer ones to get more crypto into liquidity, meaning more users. That's where hype and prices really start to change. So there you guys have it. There's my thoughts. I am bullish on Aerodrome. I like that they're expanding their MetaDex. I think it's going to be really good news long term, probably moderate term as well, as long as we get at least a strong relief rally, if not a partial or full alt season. I expect really good things to come from Aerodrome. So let me know your thoughts down below. Are you short term with Aero, long term? I always try to keep active in the comments. It's fun talking with you guys. And thank you for being here. See you guys again soon. Peace.